All right, Jessica, thank you. Yeah, busy day for Glenn County, but a busy couple of days, honestly.
Yeah, and even I know the storm's already made landfall, but where Jessica is, they're still under a storm surge warning because those winds wrapping around out ahead of this, right?
And we've got a tide tonight, 10:50, that they'll be thinking about as well. Now, not massive, but every little bit, when you're having extra water in the marshes, it'll make a difference when it comes to the flooding and the high water, especially St. Simons Island, Jekyll, and the intercoastal communities there along Brunswick. So waiting on the 9 o'clock advisory from the National Hurricane Center, because it's still categorized as a 1. Very likely now that the eye wall is filling in, that the eye itself is filling in, that we're going to downgrade to tropical storm.
We have not seen, outside of earlier, any reports from the stations out here of winds up to hurricane strength. Right. So that's some good news there.
Also got to think about, I want to kind of put this into motion. So just how broad the forecast cone gets as we get into Tuesday. So a lot of uncertainty even. So even if we get through today and into Tuesday, we don't need to let our guard down as far as the flooding is concerned and all the rain, especially for our friends in Southeast Georgia.
I mean, this graphic really kind of shows you, in my opinion, all these lines right here.
Yeah.
That's just indicating every 6 hours it is not budging just off the coast of Georgia.
Big thing to wait for as far as time is concerned. So we'll get another important update at 11 o'clock. That'll be the next very big update. We'll get an updated cone. That's because new information is going to be coming in from all the computer models. So let's set our clocks for 11. We'll have that for you live on air, online as well. Still, hurricane warning still in place. Going to wait and see if we get that update. If they change that just a bit to put everybody now under the tropical storm warning. But for the most part, we are in that. And we don't just say just a tropical storm warning. There is so much water coming out of the sky associated with this, with what is still Hurricane Debby. By 9-10 o'clock, this should have been moved down, and its short lifespan as a hurricane will become Tropical Storm Debby. But notice the bands, and notice how far down the tropical tail, down the peninsula of Florida, this goes. And this is just as concerning as what all this rain that's here, because with this tropical tail coming on, you get the spin, get a little bit of vorticity happening in the atmosphere, and that can create some tornadoes. So we still have the tornado watch in place for most of our area, if not all of us. If you can hear my voice, you're underneath that tornado watch. So we'll continue to watch for the spin ups. We haven't seen any tornado warnings here locally. We've had a couple down on the I-4 corridor. The strongest of the winds and the heaviest of the rain, we saw Drew and Tristan in Lake City. A lot of it's now moving over Dowling Park, so really, really strong, moving up I-75 now towards Valdosta. We'll see if the center, as computer models have been showing, continues to make the trek to the right, a little bit more to the east as well. So some of the sustained winds we're seeing right now, Robert Speda has got to look at some of the stronger gusts here in just a moment as we look at the computer model forecast, the high resolution, rapidly refreshing model here going through the evening hours still. Noting that tropical tail coming out of the I-4 corridor, bringing some of these cells, the circular reds, the purples, that could indicate a little bit of rotation. So we're watching even through the evening hours. Let's check in now with meteorologist Robert Speda. He was talking about those winds for us.
Yeah, you know what, Lou? First off, just over here, admiring this big screen in our new studio. It just reminds me of like the war room back when I was in the military brief in the 3-star here. Hey, there's a look at that weather impact, though. We have a weather impact alert today all day. The rain is just going to continue. So let's break this down county by county, because of course everybody's going to see the rain, but how much? How about here in Duval County? We're expecting about 5 to 6 inches, 20 to 40 mile per hour sustained winds, but we've been seeing gusts over 50 at some of the airports here. Still have that isolated tornado risk. That will continue through tonight. Now, even after the center passes us, we have the trailing bands in behind it, as Lou was just talking about here, breaking down the radar for you. Clay and Putnam still can see about 3 to 5 inches, but you're also going to see those trailing bands behind it. So you still could be looking at that potential for some power outages just due to a few of those storms that kick on by. Where Charleston, Brantley, Pierce, we're talking about southeastern areas of Georgia. Mentioning the chance of this kind of stalling out. So even through Tuesday night, we're still going to be seeing some of those bands push on through. This number Oof, that is rough. 20 inches of rainfall. But you don't need 20 inches to even cause problems out here on the roads. We're already seeing those windy conditions as well. Let's talk to Katie because I know she's got plenty to talk about here in the UF Health Traffic Center.